considering that LOL stands for laugh out loud. As an English speaker, I've always wondered, in countries where English is not the native language, do they utilize this same abbreviation even though they speak another language when texting? Or is LOL simply an English thing? In Dutch, LOL coincidentally means fun. As a kid, I just thought that's what it meant on the internet. It took me a while to realize that Spanish speakers use hajajaja as ha 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 instead of what I thought it was, which was them mocking English speakers. I felt truly stupid after that one XD. However, not all people who speak Spanish type ha 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 instead of ha ha ha. Some people mock those who write with H, but it's all light-hearted fun. I don't understand. What is there to mock about haha? The H is always silent in Spanish. A. Show me your war face. Ha 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 ha. Bulls peep, that doesn't convince me. Work on it. MDR in French. Mort de rire, dead laughing. But we use LOL too. Do you find that you do a translation for most other abbreviations as well? BRB and BTW? Or are these generally not used? As we use LOL, we also use it a lot of other acronyms / abbreviations. FTW, BRB, AFK, WTF. But keep in mind that this comes from French people who speak proficiently enough English to hang out on an English text-based website. So our opinions might be biased. I've never seen anyone in a French chat using FTW or BRB. AFK sometimes, and WTF is everywhere. But maybe I've not frequented enough games with chats in English. Also, since SMS were paid by the number of letters before, there is a whole parallel language of French abbreviated, where you can reduce phrases by 50%. So TQTJE re DS2S. QDLSE tire is a valid sentence. And if you add Verlin upside down, you have another slang language to learn. Because obviously, French is way too easy to learn. /S. BTW. These language are not a joke at all. My French teacher in mid-school told us she was closely following this trend. Because it's another evolution of the language, like hundred of other in history. And it should be recognized by more people. TQTJE re DS2S. QDLSE tire is a valid sentence. I only know Cambridge High School French, and the only part I understood was the verb to pull. That would mean, sometimes phonetically, n'eting quite pas. Je réponds dans 2 secondes. Quand lse tire. So don't worry. I'm replying in 2 seconds. When she goes away. That would be reviens. Not réponds. Though. Au temps pour moi. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this, but Thailand uses 555. 5 in Thai basically translates to HA in English, so when you say 555 you're saying ha ha ha. I think it's quite cool. Good old WoW times. Kek. To those who don't know, when typing LOL in Warcraft it will show as Kek for Horde players. Because the language translation barrier between different races. Other way, but yes. When Horde says LOL, Alliance sees Kek. When Alliance says LOL, Horde sees Burr. Thank you for the correction. And actually it has a mirror in StarCraft. Since Koreans use the onomatopoeia for laughing, like we would say ha 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 in English, and directly translates to kikik. In China it's H because it's pronounced like HA. So you might say HHHH to a funny meme in a text. In China they also use 233. Add more 33333s if you want as well it like lugol. In Thailand it's 555. But why? Same reason for the Chinese version. 5 is pronounced ha in Thai. 555 that's hilarious. I am from Czechia. We just use English abbreviations. LOL. BTW. I don't know. TBH. We do have some in Czech like MMNT which means wait a minute but we use mostly the English ones. Is it a coincidence that it's moment without vowels? What does it stand for? No. It's exactly that. We use moment as in wait a moment please in a normal conversations too. Maybe a linguist/anthropologist could tell us why. But moment shows up all across Europe. Romance, Germanic, and Slavic languages all use it. With the same spelling, pronunciation, and meaning. Off the top of my head I can't think of another word like that. It comes from Latin. Latin is known as a language of science and it spread like that. In Turkey you hit just random keys. Like this. Astkaftled D. I legit vibe at this. Where I grew up in Denmark. We used LOL even when speaking Danish. And it seems my younger brothers do the same. Same in Sweden. Everyone knows enough English to understand laugh out loud. Obligatory same in Norway. I'm from Russia. We usually use ha 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 as in. But my peers I'm 26 BTW quite often use LOL as or. Even though the latter is a bit dated already. We also use which was loaned from Korean. It can also be used as a verb. As a side note, it's quite common to use parentheses instead of smileys. So it will be like instead of, and instead of. If a person you're talking to uses parentheses this way they are quite likely from Russia or some post-Soviet country. This is actually the first time I found another Russian on Reddit. There are quite a few actually. They just spawn randomly in different threads. I always wondered how they reproduce. Thanks for the explanation. I have heard Japanese people using www or kusa but the character which depicts this instead of LOL. I am not Japanese. And have little experience with that hemisphere. So anyone more experienced feel free to correct me. The word for laughter is were. So that gets shortened to just W. And obviously, if you're laughing a lot then that becomes www. And somewhere in there, someone decided that all those W's looked like a grass field. So now you can just say grass or kusa. I may or may not only know this because of a certain rabbit hole. Ahahahaha. Eliminato. Same here actually LOL. And of course my English speaking brain pronounces the hard J when I read it. Here in Brazil we use our own abbreviations. It's really rare to see someone using LOL or BTW and we laugh in the internet with KKKKKKK mostly. But some people use KKKKK or KSKSKSKS. We actually have many variations. I'd say that these are some of the most common. Ha ha ha. KKKKKK. Xiao xiao. He he he. RSRSRSR. In South Korea, there isn't an abbreviation of sorts. But they do tend to use. The character is pronounced as a K. And it means laughing/LOL. The longer it is the funnier it is. German 20-year-old here that I think knows her way around internet culture pretty well. In my social circles around 15 to 25 years old we use LOL in the context of when being in awe. I think. As in no way. Example. You just found out that your teacher from elementary school, of who you had always thought gave off the vibes of a criminal, was convicted of a crime yesterday. We also use LOL no capital letters as kind of like a chuckle. Or something passive-aggressive. A fake LOL. Example. A group chat scenario. Look. Doesn't this video remind you of your name here? You're slightly offended / not amused. But don't real wanna start something right now. So sometimes people get the LOL instead of a pure ha ha ha. We also don't read / say the letters L, O and L, but we just pronounce LOL as in lollipop. A little bit of German texting culture trivia for you. Maybe this is the same in other countries. I don't know. When I was a teenager about 15 years ago we only used German acronyms to say goodbye. HDL hab dich lieb. I love you in a platonic way. I got pretty crazy when more and more letters were added. The easiest one was HDGDL hab dich ganz doll lieb. I love you a lot. Over time this got replaced by the English LOL, ROFL etc. I had a look in my old internet user manual written for kids in 1999 and this is the acronyms they provide. GDNR anyone? Hey. That also mean high density lipoprotein. Which is how a teacher got us to remember which is the good one and the bad one. HDL hab dich lieb and LDL lass das lieber, you better don't do that. I'm unsure how common it is. But I've noticed Spanish speakers abbreviate K as K. Hajaja jaja jaja jaja. In Spain XD was always pretty prevalent. It even came to mean different things depending on the way you wrote it. Like maybe XD has a sarcastic tone to it. We use LOL too. Though. It's easy to pronounce with Spanish phonetics as is. So we even use it vocally. But we also use it when something is bizarre. Like when someone's telling you something unbelievable so you go LOL. But I can't think of something specifically in Spanish. Among other acronyms WTF hasn't caught on. Because we already have chu cojones. I think the use of XD is pretty outdated now. I only see it sarcastically at around my age group 22 to 28 and it's even rarely used there. LOL is used as in more of an awe thing like the German user said as well. And yet, sometimes just as the regular meaning but not in capital letters. Not that common outside of internet nerds though I think. Everyone knows what it is though. I'd say that what people my age use the most is JAJA in capital letters. Which would translate better as LOL. Or just some regular ha 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 as in ha ha ha. Some people even throw out a conscious misspelled Jace JJJ Jas JJ Jace Jace J with lots of J. These are some more spicy variations.